Ready? Something, and then it'll be visible one way.
All right. Good Friday morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Man, beautiful weather out there. Nice fall morning. Looks like we're heading that direction, thank goodness. So get out of that summer heat. Today is September 30th, 2022, and this is your Friday morning meeting. This morning, I'm lucky to have Mr. Steve Field up here. Steve's our safety director.
Morning, Dave.
Morning. I'm Dave White, and we're going to have a number of different speakers this morning. Hopefully, it'll be somewhat entertaining for you all and covering a number of different topics. So if you all have questions, concerns, whatever, no such thing as a dumb question in these meetings. Just raise your hand, and we want to get you on the mic because we have outside terminals on here as well. So this morning, we're going to go up and visit them real quick here. Let's go out to Pittston, Pennsylvania. And do we have Lisa or Bill up there?
How you doing, Dave? It's Bill.
Hey, nice seeing you, Bill. Awesome. Nice seeing you. New voice, too, man. You look a lot better than that other guy that's usually up there.
I think you guys have him down there, don't you?
Well, we may. We're going to let him out of the cage here in a minute. But no, Rick's down here. It's great to have him this week now. But how's it going up in Pittston this morning?
We're doing good. A little cool, but no snow or rain or anything like that. So we're pretty happy.
Well, good deal. What's the temperature you have right now approximately?
About 46.
Wow. I think you're right in line with us pretty much. So that's good. Nice, cool, crisp morning. How's the orientation classes this week? Going pretty well?
Yes. Good
How about the IT side? That's your end of it. How's IT doing?
Great.
That's good. Good deal, Bill. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, make sure you get your folks on the mic. Love to hear from you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care. Let's go out the other side of the U.S. Go out to Salt Lake City. We have Mr. Troy Rich out there.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, we're doing good. How about yourself, Troy?
It's great in Salt Lake City, man. It's a beautiful day.
Is that a Chiefs shirt you're wearing?
No, University of Utah.
I know you had that on last time I was up here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we don't do Chiefs in Salt Lake. Come on, man.
You'll learn one of these days. Man, looks like you got a full house.
We have quite a few people here. We're starting to grow again. We're getting more and more students. Next week we got a dozen or so planned to be here. So we're starting to grow again. We're starting to get busy again. It's coming that time of year. We're going to be so busy. We need all the drivers we can get.
No doubt. And we need them trained safely too. So
safety's a big deal. You know, I actually had a driver come and ask me about a speeding ticket. He said, "What do I do? I got a speeding ticket." And I said, "Well, you let your fleet manager know, you let safety know." And then I asked him, I said, "Why did you get a speeding ticket?" He said, "Well, that's what the police officer said." He said, the police officer pulled me over. He said, "Why were you speeding?" He said, "Well, because my wife left me." He says, "Well, sir, I'm sorry, but that's not a good reason to get a speeding ticket." He goes, "Well, she left me for a police officer. I thought you were coming back to bring her back to me."
All right, buddy. Keep working on those jokes.
That was a driver told me that. Come on. I was looking for a clean driver joke. They're hard to find.
They are. That's true. Trucking industry, it's hard to find those clean ones. So, hey, if you got any questions or concerns, be sure you bring them up with us.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Troy. Back here in Springfield, how's everybody doing? All right. Listen to that, Steve. We got them rocking and rolling here.
We do.
Yeah, so welcome. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of our new folks, our new family members into the Prime Driver Associates. And if you could please stand and rise. If you're new to Prime this week, stand on up. We'd love to give you a round of applause. Welcome to our family. Love seeing everybody, all the new faces out here. And this is a family, and we're very proud of ourselves and proud of our company for what all of our drivers do day in, day out. There's no doubt about it. This week, we had kind of a tough area down in Florida. They went through some tough times. We had Hurricane Ian go through there yesterday. Did a lot of damage. I know we got a lot of Florida drivers that's in our fleet. We had a couple come through safety yesterday, worried about their families. Luckily, their families are okay. But thoughts and prayers to all those down there dealing with Hurricane Ian. You know, when I look back and look over the United States, you know, there's a lot of stuff we deal with. It seems like, especially on social media, the political side, the religious side, some of those, and people get into arguments and all that. But you know what's incredible, I always feel, and I always get a kind of goosebumps about this, when we have like a natural disaster like that, all the people, all the power linesmen that go down there, electrical companies, telephone companies go back down there, they're down there to help get that state back on its feet again and help those people. Convoy of Hope. We're here in Springfield. We're sending semis with water and food. You know, it's just your basic necessities you really need, and that's really cool to see that. And we come back together as you know, one United States, one people, help each other out. And you know, there's no doubt we're going to take a lot of rebuilding down there. All the pictures I saw with homes and businesses and even roads that were tore up by the hurricane. And, you know, that's going to come back on trucking. And Steve, you want to take it from there, man?
You know, Dave brings up a great point there. You know, it seems whenever our country faces a challenge, there's always one group of people that are called on to go above and beyond. And we know who that is. It's the truckers. If we look at the last couple of years dealing with COVID, you know, truckers didn't go home. They didn't stay at home and work from home or something like that. You know, truckers were out there keeping this country going through some difficult times. And, you know, as Dave mentioned with the hurricane down there, who's gonna get that area back in shape again? It's going to be the truckers getting food down there, water, medicine, building supplies, everything we need. You know, we're in a great industry. I'm always proud of the trucking industry and proud of what you do out there every single day. And for our new folks, you know, I'll tell you, you're entering a challenging industry. It's a tough profession. It can be dangerous. We're going to give you the best equipment, the best training, the best support that we can. But at the end of the day, trucking can be dangerous out there. That's why you have to always be focused. Be focused on what you're doing out there. Never drop your guard. You know what you're doing, but you can't talk about that four-wheeler next to you. This is honest truth. I'm going home last night and there's this car in the left lane going way too slow for the left lane. And I go by her on the right, and I'm not going to get behind her. Got her phone up like this, FaceTime, and I could see it right on my phone. And this is on I-44. She was probably going 65, the speed limit's 70, and that's how people get hurt. That's how people die out there, and we don't want to be part of that. I'm going to ask you, particularly our new folks, you guys that have been here a while, and women, you know what I'm talking about. You've been out there, but for our new folks, you have to be the professional out there. We're counting on you, and the motoring public is counting on you to be responsible out there. Not only do we want you to get home when it's time to go home, we want to make sure the motoring public gets home. We have that responsibility out there. So, you know, I'll just kind of echo what I said at the beginning. When we need something, trucking comes through. I remember one more example just years ago when the military was mobilizing to go over for the first Gulf War. It was the truckers that got everything in place, got everything ready to go. And, you know, we just appreciate you guys and women. Sorry about that, Renee. You're sitting over there. Never want to forget our women, our highway diamonds. You know, Prime does a fantastic job about making sure we include women. I think our percentage now is 13 or 14% are women, are drivers. And that's like double the national average. This is a place here where everyone's welcome. We just ask that you be safe. Be safe. Take care of our customers. So again, welcome to our new folks. Be proud of what you do out there, and we appreciate you.
Can't forget Julie Barnett and Jamie Gray too, sitting there with us.
Right there too.
There we go. That's right. Yeah. So no doubt about it. They do a great job for us. But yes, you're vital to this industry. You know, the old saying, if you got it, a truck brought it, is very true. If you look around, it's hard to find anything that a truck has not brought. Even in this room, somehow a truck touched it. And that's how important this industry is. But like Steve said, we need safe drivers out there. And ultimately, at the end of the day, safety is number one. And we all need to remember that no matter what we're doing. And we'll come back to safety here in a little bit. We'll talk about some winter driving. But first, I'd like to bring up from out of Pittston, Pennsylvania, wearing the blue shirt today, blue and white. We got Mr. Rick Iffert. Nice having you, buddy.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks. Hey, for those new folks out here, you know, it is a challenge as far as being a driver and what you do out there, but it's also rewarding. And, I started back in 1995 as a driver and drove for 5 years and came inside, and I wouldn't change a thing. It's something that I wanted to do back then. And again, I wouldn't change it for the world. Inspections. Excuse me. I had the pleasure of going through inspections last week. We had 160 inspections that we did, and 105 of those were clean. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. That's phenomenal. That's 65% clean inspections. Our national average right now is about 35%. So week in, week out, we do about double national average, and that's fantastic. But talk you guys up a little bit about the inspections, doing the clean ones. But we got some areas that we need to work on. One of them is speeding. We need to slow down, and the speeding is not on the interstate. It's those narrow roads that we deal with in those little small towns, and we got Barney Fife sitting around the corner waiting for you guys to come through, and sometimes he gets you. So you got to watch that. Slow down, please. The other area is hours of service. We need to make sure that we're running a legal logbook out there, whether it's the 11-hour rule, 14-hour, 70-hour. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And that's all I got.
All right, let's talk real quick about speeding. If we just get does it only count if you get a ticket, or what about an inspection? How's that work?
It does count as far as a speeding ticket, but it also counts for just that warning. It goes on the DOT inspection, and it goes on our safer scores. So yeah, it counts all around, and it counts for the driver and for us as a company. So yeah,
no doubt, and it'll be on the driver's record for 3 years.
3 years, yes.
The company's record for 2. So if and that's part of the CSA program, and if by chance you happen to go somewhere else, the vast majority of companies are running PSPs now. We do that with new people coming into orientation.
We do look at PSP, and sometimes it's a challenge to look at those and say, hey, I don't know. Do we need that guy? It's a challenge sometimes.
It is, because there's a history on that.
It is a history, yes.
And that's what we don't want. We don't. So remember that if you just get a warning on an inspection, it still goes against you. So it doesn't go on your license, but it'll go on your PSP report. So we got to be able to back that up with our drivers and defend them.
And one other thing on the maintenance side, as far as inspections were concerned, was air leaks, whether it was a chafed airline or an actual air leak. You got to do good pre-trips. Make sure that you're walking around and you got that air valve released so you can hear those leaks. We need a little better job on the pre-trips.
And also to chalk those wheels if you're on an incline or a decline so the truck doesn't roll on you as well.
Exactly.
But yeah, definitely check your lights. That's a give me too on an inspection. If you go across the scale and you got burnout tail light or burnout light four-way, a lot of drivers turn on their four-ways. Well, if one's burnout, what's that telling the officer?
It's telling, hey, that there's more that we can look at. So whether it's the truck, the driver, it's just something that they can use to pull you over. And that's just not a scale house. That's out on the highway with especially with Indiana, Illinois. They need a reason to pull you over, and that's a reason for them. So
no doubt. And besides that, just the way your truck looks many times can make a difference.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So if you got it all cluttered inside, you got a bunch of paperwork up on the dash and looks like it hasn't been washed for a while. And, that officer's looking at it going, am I going to take this one or do I want to take that nice clean one behind the prime? So remember that, keep those trucks nice and clean. It makes a big difference.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Rick. Nice having you down here.
Thank you, Ricky.
That's good information, man. I'm glad we brought him down this week. We had a good time with him.
Absolutely. Brings a wealth of information.
Winter driving. Man, here we go. It's hard to say we're going to be running in any winter soon, but we will, especially out west. That's usually where it hits first.
It is right around the corner. And, we already talked about what a challenging industry trucking is, but winter just compounds it exponentially. The challenges that you all face and winter, the challenges we take in servicing our customer. But it's really not a competition. It really comes down to you being safe out there. And we've talked about this the past couple of weeks. And so I'm going to look for one particular driver. I need someone. So think about this. Someone that started as a D seat this year is now an A seat, and this is going to be your first winner. Who have we got? There we go. Come on up. Come on up back there. Very good. Very good.
She's quick at the draw on that, man. She can stuck her hand right up there. Come on up. It's like The Price is Right. Come on up.
Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone, where you came from and how you ended up at Prime and who you are?
I'm Tammy.
Tammy. Hi,
From
Tammy.
Dallas. Let's see. Husband was a driver trainer many, many years ago, 26 years, passed away 3 years ago. I always wanted to drive trucks. Got pregnant in 91. Back then, women couldn't be pregnant and on the truck, blah, blah, blah. So kids are grown, husband's gone, and I'm here.
And here you are. Well, we're glad you're here. So you're in A seat now.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned
And my
that.
truck is in the shop.
Oh, well, we'll get it
At
out quick.
Peterbilt.
Okay. We're going to get it out of there.
Okay.
If
And I'm
not,
trying to get to Texas or Savannah, Georgia, either or.
well, we got Van right back in the corner. So we're putting you on alert, Van. We need to know where her
Van, raise your hand.
Van's our Peterbilt rep. So we're going to make sure your truck comes
I
out.
spoke to him this week. Uh-huh.
You know, you mentioned Dallas. You know, it's interesting that you live there because probably the worst winter accident, I think it was last winter, was in Dallas over in Fort Worth on the toll road.
Yeah.
You know, what a unfortunate set of circumstances that was when the toll road just froze up out of nowhere and things were happening. It's tough. Okay. So you're in A seat now. This is going to be your first winter. Are you solo?
Yes.
Okay. You've been to some safety meetings before?
Yes.
Okay. You tell us, what is your plan this winter, Tammy, for winter? You get out there and maybe you got something that's going west. You know, how are you keeping aware of what the weather is? And what if it starts to get maybe a little bit more than you think is appropriate for Tammy to be out there? What's your plan out there?
Well, I have a Rand McNally, so it lets me know about the weather condition.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell my fleet manager I don't feel safe to drive.
Okay.
That's the real plan.
Okay. And
But I do need some snow socks, so hopefully that's what y'all are giving me.
don't have any snow socks for you, but we're going to give you something nice though. So you're going to communicate with your fleet manager.
Yes, definitely communicate with your fleet manager.
Okay.
Road assist.
Okay. So like, do you kind of wait till it gets really bad? So
No.
Okay.
You
okay.
need to be proactive.
Proactive. Okay. And that's right. You need to be looking what's ahead.
Yes.
What's going on.
Yes.
And, you know,
Checking the weather, checking the roads.
who's your fleet manager?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. So he takes care of you?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
All right.
I'm a handful. He
Okay.
does the best he can with me.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you do well for him. And,
Yeah.
you know, listen to what Tammy says here. And this is important. We like to have fun up here, but at the end of the day, this is important. I can guarantee you this. There's not a single load that you're going to haul ever at Prime that's going to be worth you getting hurt out there or someone else getting hurt. We have a huge responsibility to our customers to deliver their freight claim-free, hopefully at the appointed time. But again, it's not hard to tell to make that decision. Do I park it or do I try to get through? And sometimes I use that analogy. Suppose you're on a plane, you're going down, I won't use Florida, that's probably a bad example. You're going out to Vegas, you're going to have a little fun out there, and your pilot gets on and welcomes you and says, you know, the weather looks pretty good. There's a few rough spots, but I think we can make it.
Mm-mm.
You know, if you hear that from the pilot, you're probably not going to be real comfortable about that flight. And that's the way we need to look at it here. We don't want to think I can make it. And I know things come up unexpectedly. A lot of you are familiar with that accident in Dallas last year over in Fort Worth. Actually, that did kind of come out of nowhere. But snow doesn't come out of nowhere normally. The bad weather doesn't. You've got to be proactive, like Tammy says. You've got to communicate with your fleet manager, and you've got to make that tough call that, okay, it's not looking too bad, but here's what I'm hearing. Here's what other trucks are saying coming from the opposite direction. Here's what I see on my weather app, that it's going to get bad. Find a safe place to park. Ride it out. As Dennis pointed out last week very eloquently, the roads get cleared pretty fast. They know what they're doing out there, these highway departments. So let them do their job, get out of their way. It'll be a fresh day in the morning and we'll get that freight delivered. Anything else you want to add, Tammy, while you're up here?
That's it.
Well, we appreciate you coming up. You know, we've got our friends from Lockton here. They do a lot with our insurance, got a nice Yeti for you. You know, and you were brave to come up. How about this waterproof bag that we got? You know, keep some winter supplies in it. And
Thank you.
we wish you the best
That's
of luck.
very important, having supplies.
It is. And Van sits he's right back in the corner over there, Van.
Raise his hand.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
She's going right back there doing too. All right. I like this.
He's heading right for van.
That's right. That's his day to shine. But yeah, let's just talk a little bit more, Steve, about winter driving.
Let's do it,
let's
Dave.
make sure your truck's ready. You got it maintained. You got good tires on there. This is the time of year to start looking all that. If you need to change out your tires, get with our tire department. And you want the best traction you can get out there in the wintertime, no doubt. Make sure too you got proper clothing, shoes, boots. This is the time of year you probably should be switching out those shorts and t-shirts for a little bit longer shirts, sweatshirts, things like that. And your truck's ready. You got food on board, water, because like Steve said, we do come across accidents and sometimes they may have the interstate shut down for 10, 12, 16 hours and you may be stuck in line waiting. And if you are, there's no food, there's no water. It's what you have on your truck. So be prepared. You have your truck stocked properly as well. You got your proper clothing. And also, remember Don McCormick drove here for many years. And one of Don's sayings was, keep your speed appropriate for the conditions and your ability. And Don was a multi-million-mile safe driver. And he drove west. So almost all of his loads went, where do you drive, Kansas City out to Salt Lake or something every week. And so he went through the mountains and all that. And, he said majority of times it's people that just don't recognize the road conditions and they don't have the ability to be out there. They should be parking it. And you'll see drivers out there, it could be a blizzard. They'll still be going down the highway and that's fine. That's their truck. If they want to continue on, but you know what, if you're not comfortable, park it. And that's what we ask you to do. If the road conditions get too tough out there and you're like, I'm getting a little bit scared. You get that gut feeling, you get that in your stomach, in your chest, starts telling you, well, maybe I should park it. That's what we want you to do. Park it, get a hold of your fleet manager, tell them, I'm going to park it for a while, we'll see. And like Dennis mentioned last week, these road crews up in the northern states, they do a pretty good job. They do a pretty good job at cleaning these roads off. They want traffic to keep moving as well because backed up traffic, backed up truck stops, rest areas, that's recipes for disaster as well as for accidents happening. So, they want to keep those going. So they do a good job getting salt out there, getting the plows going. So give it a few hours. Usually you'll be okay and you can get back out there. And if not, just communicate with your fleet manager with what's going on and tell them about when you be rolling again. And when you get rolling, send them a message on the Qualcomm. I'm going to be taking off so they know what's going on. So.
Well said, Dave. Appreciate that. And, we're going to kind of switch gears here. We do have a number of good speakers. Dennis is chomping at the bit to get the mic. Come on up. Dennis Davis joined our safety department 4 or 5 years ago. Really neat that he came from operations, brings a lot of experience as John Harden does, who recently joined the safety department, has that operational experience, that talking with drivers. You can kind of see through the BS. So Dennis, here you go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Man, you guys talked a long time. I'm doing my best Steve Wucky impersonation, just itching for my turn to get on the mic.
You're over there with your feet digging.
I know. I was ready. I'm excited. I love this time of week. I've already had donuts, coffee. I'm all jacked up and ready to go. So, hey, good morning, everybody. As Steve introduced me, I'm Dennis Davis. I work in the safety department, and I want to echo some of the sentiments of these gentlemen this morning and say, hey, welcome to all of our new folks here in Springfield, as well as at our other terminals, and for our veteran drivers that are just stopping by. I just want to tell you guys, welcome home. We're glad to see you and be with you today. I got 2 things I want to talk about this morning, Dave. First thing I'll talk about is some challenges we had with a customer this week, and then I'll introduce a new member of our team and bring her on up. This is the first time, so don't be too rough on her. We'll guide her through. So, last week we had a couple rollovers, and we always pride ourselves in being transparent. We don't want to hide anything that we've got going on. We always take those opportunities to learn. First and foremost, prime drivers do anywhere from, 15 million, 18 million miles a week. That's a lot of lane changes. That's a lot of exit ramps. That's a lot of exposures and opportunities for some FaceTiming driver to meet us at the wrong time. So we do a ton of things right. And, every week we look at some of the challenges that we had. In this particular week, we had 2 very similar challenges, very similar location, and unfortunately with the very same customer. So, first and foremost, I'll give a shout out. I'm pretty sure that they're watching, to our friends at Unilever. Anybody carry one of those Ben and Jerry loads out of the Northeast, out of St. Albans, Vermont? Raise your hand high.
I see a lot of heads.
Yeah. I think some of you guys that have carried those loads know exactly what I'm going to talk about today. They're ice cream loads. So first, these folks at Unilever, of course they care about the product, they care about their stakeholders, but, always the first question that they ask, how's the driver doing? Is the driver okay? So, our customers truly care about your well-being. We had our friends from Tropicana last week, and I don't remember David's last name, but it sticks with me that the first thing he said, he was a veteran himself. He said, we had this deal where, our battle buddies always go home. He said, our orange juice is not that important for you to risk your life for somebody else's life. And that's the same sentiment and feeling we got from our friends at Unilever this past week. But they did want to talk about some of the challenges we had with those 2 rollovers, in that area. And as I'm going to ask Brian and Richard to kind of tee up those slides that I sent them, at the end of the day, it's a legal truck route that these trucks were on. The road is extremely narrow and it has very little, if no room for error. Those, trailer tires just get an inch or 2 off the road. It's going to pull you over. One was, a true rollover. One was kind of a fall over, we'll own it. We'll own it. So one of the things we did is we went in to Navigo and we changed the route. So of course, with our company drivers, we really want you to stick to that route. With our lease operators, you've got a little bit more leeway to choose what you want to do. Always communicate with your fleet manager. Brian, you got that slide for me? Or did I send it to you too late? So, all right. So as you're going south, and we didn't pull it all the way from St. Albans, we just pulled it from Burlington, the nearest big city. So as you're going south on 7, the quickest route, we will take you down 22A. All right, and that's the route that we had some challenges on this week. Brian, if you go to that next slide, what we want you to do from here on out is continue on 7, and it'll take you down. That road is a lot more trucker friendly. Now, again, 22A is a legal trucker route. If you're looking at your GPS, it won't tell you that it's restricted. If you're looking at the Raminali Atlas, it won't tell you that it's restricted. It's perfectly legal, but we're telling you just from experience, and some of you folks that have carried this load and traveled this route will tell you that, that 22A, we're going to ask you to take an alternate route. I talked to another fleet manager this week, Teresa Glavick, and she says, we're familiar with that road. I've got a few drivers that do that, and we recommend that they go a little bit north and take 89 across. So, and that's totally okay too. The big part about that, if you plan to deviate your route, go ahead and communicate with your fleet manager and they'll be able to get you taken care of. They got all the same technology that we do available to them, and they can get you taken care of.
And we also talked to the state police too, and both officers. One officer referred to the 22A as a goat trail that's been paved. So he said, he says it is an unforgiving road if you drop a tire off, if you get close to the edge, because you're going to more than likely go over. And then he said in the last month, they've averaged about 6 or 7 run off the roads or rollovers with commercial motor vehicles on that route. It is a truck route, like Dennis said. It's legal to take, but we decided to change our routing to go on Route 7, and both officers said, good idea. He said, Route 7's a better road. You do go through a few more towns on there, so be aware of that. You have to slow down, obey their speed limits, but it is a safer route to go. And he said, drivers still need to drive safely on that, but it's what it is. I think our numbers will definitely improve a lot better than we have been this past week, no doubt. So,
I think we did almost 1,200 loads out of their calendar year, so I think our drivers, for the most part, got it figured out. I think we did have a few outliers that gave us the opportunity to take a closer look at this and make the necessary change.
You can't be rolling ice cream, man. That's like you and I's favorite food. Jimmy Fallon's, have you had that? Jimmy Fallon, the peanut butter and chocolate ice cream?
Dave, ice cream is actually my nemesis. If I have ice cream, you probably won't see me for the rest of the day.
But it might be a bad idea. Maybe we need to get some in here and get rid of you.
Plan challenge accepted, huh? All right, good deal. Hey, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We got a brand new member of our team, so I'm going to ask Stephanie Ewing to come on up, grab a microphone. This is a first timer, so let's give her a little bit of encouragement. Round of applause. Typically when we get speakers up here, we tell them about a week in advance to give them a chance to prepare. Not Stephanie. We gave her a few hours to prepare. That way she wouldn't be super nervous the whole week. Now you were just nervous overnight, right?
Yeah.
All right, good deal. So former driver, so tell us a little bit about your driving experience here at Prime.
Okay, so I started out as a D student. Went through the training program. My husband trained me. I drove for 13 years, and then I transferred in office. It will be 2 years next week. So I've been prime associate 15 years next week.
All right, great job. Let's give a round of applause. All right, so Stephanie recently transitioned into our citations department. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we visited with Jeff Wood and told you, no, he's going to be the first guy in a long time out there in the law department. And then we, you know, real easy, real comfortably slid Stephanie right on in. So Stephanie, tell us a little bit, you know, you said you've been in-house for a couple of years. What'd you do before you came to the citations department?
Okay, so I originally started in live loads. So I did live loaded calls for about a year and a half. About a year in, they asked me to get cross-trained into field desk and switchboard. So I did live loads, field desk, and switchboard as a fill-in. And then in June, I transferred into, or I'm sorry, in August, I transferred into citations.
All right. So a lot of prime experience, over-the-road driving experience, experience, you know, for those folks that are new out here being in our PSD program, you know, that very unique experience teaming with your husband. Probably had a few fights out there, but it's okay. You know, it happens. You know, then you came in-house, did that vital role of being on a live loaded call, and then that lifeline of being the fuel desk. Now you're on our team. You're on, you know, under the safety umbrella in the citations department. So tell us real quick, you know, kind of, you know, and I know you're still training with Sarah Vest, but tell us so far, you know, one, what's the experience been like, and two, kind of some of the services that our citations department offers to our operators.
Yeah. So the experience has been amazing. Everyone under the safety umbrella has been so welcoming. They answer any question that I have. I'm only about 7 weeks in citations, so I don't know anything really. But everyone's been super, super welcoming. I apologize if I've sent you guys a message and I'm wrong. Sarah will call me out on it, and I will totally own up to my mistake to help you guys out with the citation, with the inspection, or whatever the case may be. It's been amazing. I love my job. I love Prime, and I want to be good at my job. And I think I'm going to get there eventually. I still struggle with some things, but that's expected when it's such a big job. There's so much to know.
Absolutely. So other than being forced to come up here and speak publicly, what other services are you offering to the drivers?
Yeah. So anytime you guys get a citation, an inspection, an examination report from the DOT, first things first, please scan it into us over the Prime app. You can scan it under the trip documents. The code for inspections is IN. The code for citation is CT. Scan that into us. We'll receive it. Once we receive it, if it is a citation, we ask that you call the business day after scanning in the citation. So if you scan it in on a Saturday or Sunday, Sarah and I are not in, give us Monday, let us get caught up, call in Tuesday and ask that we've received your citation. If it is a citation, there is a fine. We're going to ask how you want to proceed, if you want it payroll deducted, anything like that. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty cutthroat. We're going to be in touch with you guys. Double check that we received it. Sometimes it gets lost. Transflow was down on Monday for about 18 hours. So we didn't receive anything from you guys, unfortunately. So, and we're still playing catch up from Transflow being down for so long.
You guys will catch up. I got no doubt about it. So
we're getting there.
The key thing here is, everybody under the safety umbrella, whether it's the true safety department, our citations folks, our log folks, our folks in driver personnel, we're all, we're all here to help. We're all here to provide some type of service to the folks that are out there earning the paychecks for all of us. So any parting comments before I let you out of here? I know you're itching to get back over here, right?
Just please be patient with us. Please be patient with me. Like I said, I do apologize if I make a mistake. I am still training. However, please just make sure that you scan those into us as soon as safely possible. If you get pulled over, don't stay on the shoulder. Get somewhere safe in a truck stop or a rest area or something like that. Get somewhere safe and then scan it into us. It doesn't have to be immediate. You can use an old trip number. You don't have to use the one that you're on right now. You can use an old trip and scan it into us, okay?
All right, she did a great job. Let's give her a round of applause. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? All right, so the citations department is located right next to the safety department. We're in the Z building, ground level, center of the room, right next to the pillar. So
She brought up a good point, scanning those inspections in. You know, you don't,
Scan
if,
them
if
in.
they're a clean inspection, you don't get paid on it if we don't get it. So that's very important. But even the violation ones, we got to sign those off and send them back to the state.
yeah,
Very
worst thing
important.
is for us to come looking for you, right?
Exactly. You get one of those nasty letters. That's
Yeah.
not good. So, yep.
All right, let's keep it rolling, Dave. What do we got?
So up next, I think I need to look at my sheet.
I got it. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
this
so
is
last
good.
week we had some speakers, and I think everybody was expecting a real big announcement, and they just kind of let us down and said, "Hey, we got a big announcement next week." Well, the time is here, and I think some of you folks are probably just here to hear these next speakers. So we've got Haylee and we got
Hello.
Chelsey from the leasing department, and I think they've got some special information for us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. How's it going? Hello, Prime family. Good morning.
How is everyone?
Good.
So excited to see us.
Yeah, ready for some good news from the leasing department? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll scooch over.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Steve Fields asked me what other shoes I was going to wear today. He said these were a little flashy. My name's Haylee.
This is Chelsey.
Okay, so I know you guys are all curious about the lease purchase program. Unfortunately, we put it on hold for quite some time, but it is back as of today at 10 o'clock. Yes! Woo! Okay, so exciting. I'm excited to have good news for you all. So there's a few things that have changed with the lease purchase program. Do you guys want the good news? I guess the good news is you can order Peterbilts and Freightliners starting today at 10 o'clock at successleasing.com. Chelsey is the one that handles all of your orders with that. So if you want to say how long.
Yeah. So whenever you place an order, right now I'm usually responding back within 24 to 48 business hours. So with the lease, so I guess we'll go over some of the changes. So the down payment is still going to be $14,000 down. Previously it was $1,000 up front. It will now be $5,000 up front. The buyout option
On the down payment though, let me go back. It will still tier down for your longevity. So
Yes.
it starts at $14,000 and then it'll tier down for how long you've been leasing with Success, as long as you haven't had a break in service more than 59 days. So the lowest the down payment can be is $8,000 with that. So right now, when you do go online to order your truck, the initial down payment will be $5,000. We won't be able to place the order with the manufacturer until you have paid us the payment for that, for the initial $5,000. The remainder of that down payment is due when you come to pick up your truck. So whether you owe, $3,000, $5,000 more, whatever, that's due when you come to pick it up.
So the buyout option,
Yes.
so you have the option to pay off your truck after 18 months of being in
Correct.
the lease purchase.
One more thing, we're not here for all bad news. This is exciting, okay? But as of right now, just with the truck shortage and the part shortage and everything going on, we are allowing one truck per entity per person for the 2023-24 model year. So you can only order one truck for the year. So just be aware of that you can't order a truck, unfortunately, and then have your sister order a truck and pay the down payment. So lease purchase is coming back, but there is some changes with that. So
Trying to think if there's anything
I
else.
know. Anything else? What are we missing? My boss said we just did great. So yes, sir. Oh, wow.
Good morning. First off, yes, it's a good day now.
Yes. I'm
That's a
so
good
glad
morning,
you're
Connie.
excited.
So a couple questions I did have. Do you guys have, is anything changing with the pricing or the term or anything like that? And also, like you said, 5,000 down.
Uh-huh.
Can we pay the full
Yeah.
14,700 or I guess 14 to 8,000?
So you can put as much down as you want on the trucks. That's just going to lower your weekly payment on it. The payments and the pricing of the truck is very competitive to what it was previous. So it's, just keeping at the same way.
And you will still have the option of 3 or 4 year
Yes.
on your lease purchase contract.
My pleasure.
That lease buyout, is that good for the older truck? owners as well as the new?
You can always go to our website at successleasing.com, and under the Knowledge Center, you'll click the early truck payoff request form and you'll fill that out. And then Dana will get back with you within 24 hours and let you know what the buyout of your truck is and if it qualifies and everything like that. My pleasure. Yes, sir.
With the trucks we got now, are we able to turn them over to lease purchase?
Very good question. So unfortunately, if you're already out on the road with that truck, we cannot switch it over to a lease purchase. If you do have a truck order coming in and it's not here yet, technically, I guess if it is here yet, we'll let you do it if you haven't picked it up. We just need your down payment. So we need the down payment ASAP. Preferably, we would like the down payment before it gets to stripes and stuff because the numbering system is different and it's different with permits. So the sooner we know, the better. So short story, no.
Good morning. You said one truck order per year? Is that?
As of right now, so we can just order one truck for 2023, 2024 models.
Okay.
That'll start today. And then I don't know, we'll have to search like your owner code and everything. I'm not sure when you would be able to order another one. We haven't said at that time you can add more than just the one.
Okay.
What about at the end at the end of their purchase? Is there a
$100 balloon payment? Is that what you're asking?
yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Cool. Great. Okay. Well, if you guys have any questions, we'll be around here today. We're over in the Z building. Come see Chelsey and myself. We're always happy to help. Have a great day.
All right, great job, and hopefully Chelsey and Haylee be hanging out over here to my left a little bit after the meeting. So if you think of something that you didn't get to ask during the meeting, feel free to stop by and ask any questions. I think you got Drew over there too that can probably help you out. So, all right, let's keep on rolling.
Hey, so we had a question from Mitch over here on social media.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, what app do we recommend for weather, roads, stuff like that? I'm gonna let you answer that one because you investigate that more. I know what I use. It's whatever's on my iPhone, which is the Weather Channel. That's what I use. But what do you recommend? Because you've done more investigation than this than I have.
I have.
So go ahead.
I recommend any app that you're comfortable with. First of all, so I don't think you should go out and spend any additional money to go out and pay for anything. I personally use the National Weather Services app. I'm comfortable with it. The website allows me to go and get, state specific information. So, and that state specific information for road conditions is real time. So if you ever need that information, feel free. Your fleet managers also have all that information. They can get you real time information on road closures and weather conditions. If you're sitting in a truck stop planning out your trip, like Tammy talked about earlier, you need some assistance, they can help. But that brings me to another thing, also useful too. The most useful tool that any driver at Prime is going to have is the Prime mobile app. So if you haven't downloaded the Prime mobile app, please do so. If you have questions about it, we got our experts over here to my right, Richard and Brienne. Richard, let's see that hand. Richard usually goes like this. Yeah, I'm
got a
over
smile
here.
out of him this
So
week.
you got a smile out of him this week, man, and it's good to see everybody. I also see that Richard and Brienne are buying in. We've got red on, so a lot of the speakers that you see this morning have on red. A lot of the folks standing at the door, our vendors, and a lot of folks around the room are wearing red. On Fridays, we try to wear red. Every once in a while we forget, but we try to wear red, and that's an acronym for RED, Remember Everyone Deployed. So, we are a company, we believe in freedom. We respect our veterans. We appreciate the freedoms that they provide for us here, civilians. So if you served in the armed forces, if you defended this country in uniform, please stand up and give us the opportunity to thank you this morning.
That's awesome. What do you got next?
All right. So, we're coming down, flowing down to the end, and kind of like I was kind of itching over there to get the microphone. I see Steve Wucky's kind of itching to get the microphone too.
He's wiping his hands off.
There
He's
you go.
getting
He's ready. So, man, I'm never going to give you a hard time about that anymore because that's exactly how I was. I was
coming in the closer.
that's right. That's right. He's ready for his opportunity. It's going to be the last couple of weeks. We've had some awesome visitors. We had, Tropicana. Was that last week?
Yep.
And this week, I think we've got some awesome visitors today, and I won't spoil the fun. I'll let Mr. Wucky come in and give all the information.
Thank you very much. The David Dennis Show, right there. You guys do a good job. Steve, you brought them up well. Good training. Yeah, my name's Steve Wucky, and I am in sales. I'd really tell you, more importantly, I'm in safety because it's our highest calling. And everything that you've heard about being safe is real. You new folks that have chosen this profession, you got to have your game face on when you get behind the wheel. It's a very, very dangerous job that you've chosen to take because there's a lot of crazy people out there, and it's your responsibility to try to stay away from them. So I appreciate it, and we have some million milers here that have done an unbelievable job being safe. It's our highest calling. Don't ever think differently. And we have a great driver fleet that does tremendous things. But in order to do that, we got to have a great customer base. And in order to have a great customer base, we got to have some really good salespeople. So I'm going to introduce you to one really good one right here that's been with us quite a few years now, Brad. What is it, 24, 25? I can't remember. Maybe a little bit more than that.
33.
Okay, 33. Larry Bird. All right. This is Brad Quinn, and Brad has worked with us in sales and a couple other positions, but more importantly, it's sales right now and has done a terrific job. He's brought one of our very best customers over to Springfield yesterday and today. We tried some of their product last night. It's awesome. It's an awesome product. So Brad, you want to take this over now?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, I do really love ice cream. I never want to see one of those loads get over on the road, but I sure in the hell don't want to see a load of Budweiser getting pushed over. So, I mean, I think I like beer more than ice cream. So we did partake a little bit in that last night. So, but anyway, I'm going to introduce some folks that are back there. But before I do, it's just very nice to be able to get valued customers, partners to come into Springfield and to learn about Prime. Anheuser Busch, they're only 3 hours down the road, St. Louis, our corporate office. And I go there quite frequently and visit, but it's good to get them into here. I mean, I can go there and tell them about Prime, but to bring them in here and give them a tour. I mean, our tour yesterday took longer than their drive down here. We were gone from 2 to 6 p.m. So just a lot of touring, a lot of things to show, our tires, our Eco Shred, all our technology. They got to go to the simulators and drive in the trucks. Some of them passed the test, some failed, but we'll leave that out there. But so anyway, it's just a pleasure, my pleasure to have them here. It's an honor to have them here. We all know that we have problems with any and all customers at times. They're here, to get this partnership to the next level, to work on issues. They want to know what a shipper of choice is. They have their definition for years. We know what our definition is. They've been touring the building. They've talked to some drivers. I think they've gotten a little bit of information on that. We're going to meet after this for several hours and talk a little more. But one thing before I introduce them, what I want to tell you is they have an app out there. It's called Bud Express. And I think they're going to put it on the screen. So this is what it looks like in the App Store. If you all can go to the App Store and download the app, this is one way to help you get in the gate quicker. All it's going to ask you for is your truck number. It's going to ask you for your trailer number. I think it might ask for the weights, but our weights should be defaulted in their system. We've given them a standard average truck weight and trailer weight. So, but once you're in their system, you're in it. And then when you get a beer load, all you have to do is go to your app, put in your truck number, trailer number, and your shipment number. And this will help expedite you through the gate, get in quicker. They're also looking at a expedited gate just for assets only, meaning trucking companies like us that have trailers. that aren't doing live loads. Our trailers are loaded. We don't need to wait in the line for an hour or two and face that frustration. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and introduce them. They're back here in the back. Pedro, Jonathan, Claudia, and Maggie. Yeah, come on up. I think Pedro's probably out on call, isn't he? So anyway, we got Jonathan Boyd here.
Good morning.
Claudia Strong, Maggie Hartwell, and this is, I call him double E. This is Eric. So I call it the Eric effect. So just recently, at the end of June, Anheuser Busch has dedicated one of their associates to work for Prime at their location to help with our issues. So Eric is dedicated to us and still with AB, but he helps us with any problems. We don't, if there's an issue with a driver and a scale person or overweight or something like that, or a customer that's not receiving us, we send an email to Eric, and then Eric goes out and fights for us, just like as a Prime person. So, like I said, he started, I think, mid-June for us. The numbers have dramatically changed since his involvement, and it's going to continue to. So it's good to have. And here we've got Pedro Morant. So, but anyway, so all of them came up from St. Louis yesterday. Got in here about 1:30. We took them on a tour, had dinner last night, and then they're here today to finish off. So we want to thank them for coming, and I'll give them the microphone if they want to say anything.
All right. No, I just want to say thank you for the hospitality that we saw here. And first and foremost, it was very eye-opening to see the safety culture. As the first thing that we got in was the training center and the approach to safety that you take with yourselves, with your teams on the road. So really appreciate that. Appreciate learning more about the Prime there. And also one of the most important things was it felt like the culture here. It feels like you're coming into a home with the group. So very excited to see that with the group. Just want to say thank you so much for hauling Anheuser Busch, Budweiser down the road, delivering to the customers, to our customers. So thank you for that and appreciate it.
Okay. I think the only other thing that we kind of want to talk about is a couple weeks ago was Driver Appreciation Week. We did have the opportunity, if you came down to St. Louis or some of our other breweries, you probably got to see us, maybe get some swag from us. But now is just the time to thank you guys in person. I think we got to see a couple of Prime trucks, but we probably didn't get to talk to every single driver. So part of us coming down here was to hear about what we can do to make our partnership better, but also just thank you so much, because we have seen so many supply chain problems over the last couple of years being in the market that we have, but continuing the partnership with you guys, the assets that you guys are able to provide, and the service that you are able to provide us as a vendor and that we can provide to you as a customer is just unspeakable. So really appreciate you guys getting on the road in a safe manner, but also in an effective manner. And as JB kind of mentioned, anything that we can do to improve our service for you guys and become a shipper of choice. Love to hear from you guys. Make sure that you're filling out the surveys when we send it out to you guys. We'll work with Brad as well, just so that we can continue to grow this partnership.
Go ahead.
Hi, no, just to mention, maybe just to make sure this goes across all Prime drivers. We have a commitment now really from Budweiser, from AB, really to become that shipper of choice, and we know that we were not there yet. We know that our facilities, our breweries are still not maybe at the level we want to be, really top. And yeah, we are really doing a big investment now to make sure that the turnaround times, the facilities, every time that you visit our breweries, we get you there really quick and really with the best facilities ever. So we are doing a big plan now for big investments in 2023 to make sure that you are welcome, that you are treated well. No, you want to be treated well, professionalism, and we want to make sure that you have a good time when you visit our breweries. Yeah. So that's one of our main focus. So is one of the reasons why we're here. We want to learn more what drivers need, and we want to be more driver centric. No, we want to understand and make sure that we make your life easier, and yeah, you're pulling our loads and you're like one of the biggest, the big part of our supply chain, to get our products there. So thank you for pulling our loads, and yeah, thank you for the partnership, and we're really committed to work together to make it better every day.
You know, we currently handle anywhere will fluctuate, during time, but typically right now we're doing around 600 loads a week, on a slow week or times, it could have gotten down to the 250, 300. So the volume is between 10 and 30 million consistently. It's more in the 20 million and above. So we know we're just touching a little tiny part of what they have. I mean, they know to get in our top 10, it's $1 million a week in revenue. Currently, we're around 500 to 600,000. So we just double that load count, and we're up there. And so,
yeah, that's no problem. You heard it from El Jefe here. El Jefe, he's got a great team. You all are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to work on doubling up. And Brad, you got to keep working. Eric, come on, man. You got to dig in. So let's give these folks a round of applause for taking their time to be here. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, thank you all very much again. We appreciate all you do for our company and for our drivers. We're all in this together. We say this quite often. We're pretty good at what we do, but we're a long ways from perfect. We just want to get better every day and try to figure out how we can be a better partner for not only our drivers, but our customers as well. And I think that's really what the mission is that the Anheuser Busch people are looking at as well. So let me bring up our El Jefe, the guy that started this place a few years ago, a young guy. Hang on, he's moving slow today. Come on now. Come on, get up here. Get up here, man.
Yeah.
This is your show. Go ahead. Talk to our people.
Well, if you would kind of zip it.
It's your turn, man.
Man, oh man. You can tell he's a salesman because he loves to talk. I want to join the others in thanking the Anheuser Busch people for visiting our facility, walking our halls, not only hearing about the culture, but getting to really feel it and sense it, because, I think it's very powerful and very special. And the reason for that is all of you all. You just do a heck of a job. Wiki tries to take the credit, right? But I'm telling you, it's been a long time. I mean, like, never did he pick one up and deliver it on time. It just don't happen for him. But you all do it on a daily basis. And that's why we were fortunate enough to have great customers like Anheuser Busch. And I'd be remiss when I get up here if I didn't thank you for what you do, the sacrifices you make, like Steve and the safety folks are talking about. Just truckers do a tremendous service for this economy, this nation, and unfortunately, it's not always understood and respected the way it should be. But one thing I'll promise you is respect from our in-house staff and the folks that are behind the scenes, lining things up and doing the administrative part. The very minimum we owe is respect. We want to give you the opportunity to make some bank. Can I have an amen on making some bank? I mean, that's important. The girls always clap when I start talking about making bank. I mean, they get it right away. We owe you a safe environment. We've talked a lot about that. Your health is also an important piece of that. We have a doctor's office down here and several programs to help you with, managing your health and staying healthy. Trucking can be an unhealthy occupation because, for the most part, you're sitting there all day. So, we need to figure out ways to get you some exercise and get you some medical attention. So, health, making bank, and most importantly, respect. I thank you for what you do. God bless each of you and be safe out there.
Nice job, Dave. Nice job.